Hello, dear ones. This is Dr. Emily Carter, and today I'm going to share information that could completely change your brain health. Have you ever wondered if your first habit of the morning could be accelerating your brain aging? That's exactly what we'll be discussing today. Waking up and immediately checking your phone might be aging your brain faster than any other daily habit. This shocking revelation is changing how neurology experts understand premature cognitive decline, especially in people over 50. Think about it. If you wake up and, while still lying in bed, the first thing you do is check emails, news, or social media, your brain might be suffering a silent attack every day. And the worst part? You probably don't even notice the cumulative damage. What science has recently discovered is both fascinating and concerning. When your brain is bombarded with information, blue light, and stressful stimuli right after waking, there's an excessive release of cortisol, the stress hormone. In a brain that's still in a hypnagogic state, that transition between sleep and wakefulness. This cortisol directly interferes with your circadian rhythms and the healthy production of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Have you noticed how you feel more anxious on days when you start by checking negative news or work emails? Now we know this isn't just a temporary feeling, but a process that can structurally alter your brain over the years. Let me share a real case I've been following. Maria, 58, a university professor who noticed increasingly frequent memory lapses. She told me, "I started forgetting students' names, losing my train of thought during lectures. I thought it was just age until I discovered that my 15-year habit of checking work emails right after waking was literally negatively remodeling my brain." And Maria isn't alone. I've been seeing an alarming pattern in my patients over 50 who maintain this seemingly harmless morning habit. Neuroimaging. Studies show that this routine causes cumulative brain microinflammation. In people over 50, these inflammations primarily affect the hippocampus, the region responsible for forming new memories, and the prefrontal cortex, essential for decision-making and emotional control. Are you grasping the severity of this? Your morning habit could be compromising precisely the brain areas that maintain your independence and quality of life as you age. But which morning habits are the true villains? Let me reveal the main ones now. First, checking work emails in the first 30 minutes after waking. Your brain is still in transition mode and isn't prepared to process potentially stressful information. Second, scrolling through negative news feeds right after waking. News tends to focus on problems and crises, triggering a stress response even before you're fully conscious. Third, responding to work messages before even getting out of bed. This signals to your brain that there's no recovery period between rest and external demands. Another villain is exposure to blue light from screens before your brain is fully awake. This light suppresses remaining melatonin and confuses your circadian rhythms, creating a hormonal mismatch right at the start of the day. And finally, consuming stressful information on an empty stomach when your brain is most vulnerable. Without sufficient glucose circulating, your brain has a reduced capacity to process stressors in a healthy way. Do you recognize any of these habits in your morning routine? Perhaps you're wondering if you've already caused permanent damage to your brain. The good news is that our brains possess an incredible capacity for regeneration, even after years of harmful habits. And that's exactly what I want to talk about now. The morning practices that can reverse this damage and protect your brain in the long term. The first and most powerful practice is exposure to natural light for 5 to 10 minutes right after waking. Morning sunlight regulates your circadian rhythms, stimulates serotonin production, and prepares your brain for a day of optimized functioning. In my clinical practice, I've seen remarkable results with this simple change. Can you imagine what it would be like to open the curtains and simply receive the morning light before any other activity? The second practice is immediate hydration with water, preferably with lemon. During sleep, your body naturally dehydrates, and your brain, which is composed of approximately 75% water, feels the effects of that dehydration. A study from the University of East London showed that drinking just 300 ml of water upon waking increases cognitive performance by 14%. Something so simple can make such a difference. Another transformative practice is deep breathing or brief meditation before any contact with devices. 3 minutes of conscious breathing significantly reduces cortisol levels and prepares your nervous system to respond in a balanced way to the day's stimuli. Have you ever tried simply taking a few deep breaths before picking up your phone? Gentle movement like stretching or a short walk also works wonders for your morning brain. Movement increases cerebral blood flow, activating neural pathways related to attention and memory. Research shows that just 5 minutes of light movement upon waking can improve cognitive function for up to 3 hours. It's like giving your neurons a special breakfast. And we can't forget positive social contact, like talking with a loved one before interacting with technology. Positive social interactions stimulate the production of oxytocin, which reduces brain inflammation and strengthens neural connections. Exchanging a few loving words with your partner or briefly calling a beloved family member can be more beneficial for your brain than any brain training app. Dr. Carlos Mendez, a neuroscientist specializing in brain aging, explains something that confirms what I've been observing. In my patients, we see patients recovering cognitive functions in just 3 weeks after abandoning the habit of checking devices right after waking. The brain has a remarkable capacity for regeneration when we give it the right environment to wake up in. Isn't it incredible to think that in just 21 days you can begin to reverse years of damage? The data is impressive. Studies from Stanford University show that people who wait at least an hour after waking before using electronic devices exhibit 37% lower levels of brain inflammatory markers and better performance on cognitive tests. These numbers make me even more motivated to share this information with you. The transformation can be surprisingly rapid. Recently, I followed the case of Paul, a 63-year-old engineer. He told me, after replacing checking my phone with 10 minutes of sunlight and walking, I noticed that in just 2 weeks, my memory significantly improved. I could remember technical details that previously completely escaped me. Paul had been diagnosed with mild cognitive decline, but with this simple change in his morning routine, he managed to reverse many of the symptoms that worried him. The most interesting thing is that we don't need expensive medications or supplements to protect our brains. The simple reformulation of the morning routine can be the most powerful neuroprotector available. Research indicates that this change can increase cognitive reserve, our ability to resist brain decline, by up to 42% in people over 55. Can you imagine the impact of this on your quality of life in the next 10, 20, or 30 years? Based on studies published in the last 2 years, we can confidently state that the first 30 minutes after waking represent the most critical window for long-term brain health. How your brain wakes up determines not only your mental clarity for the day, but also your cognitive health for the coming decades. It's a half-hour investment that can literally change the destiny of your brain. Let's talk about practical action now. How do you implement this transformation in your life? Start with small steps. Put your phone to charge in another room during the night. Buy a traditional alarm clock if you need an alarm. Leave a glass of water beside the bed to hydrate immediately upon waking. Put a reminder on your bedside table. Sunlight first, phone later. These small environmental changes greatly facilitate the transformation of habits. Many patients ask me, "Doctor, what about on rainy days? How do I get natural light?" Excellent question. Even on cloudy days, external light is much more intense and beneficial than internal artificial light. Just being near a window already brings benefits. In extreme cases, full-spectrum lamps can be an alternative, although less effective than natural light. And what about time? "I don't have 30 free minutes in the morning," many argue. I perfectly understand that reality. What's important is not the total time, but the sequence. Even if you have just 10 minutes before needing to check emails, use those 10 minutes for neuroprotective practices first and only then access devices. It's the order, not the duration, that makes the most significant difference for your brain. In my clinical experience, I've seen patients report improvements not only in cognition, but also in mood, energy, and even digestive problems after implementing this morning protocol. A 67-year-old patient told me something I'll never forget. "Dr. Emily, I was resigned to accepting that my mind was slowly shutting down. After following your guidance for 2 months, I feel like I've recovered 5 years of my mental life. This moves me and reaffirms the transformative power of these simple practices." Stay with me in upcoming videos as I'll reveal the complete brain rejuvenation protocol that's reversing up to 8 years of cognitive aging in just 30 days. I'll share specific exercises, breathing techniques, neuroprotective foods, and much more. The difference between decline and brain vitality might simply lie in those first moments of your morning. Before we finish today, I want to leave you with a special invitation. Try it for just 7 days, 1 week following these guidelines and observing the differences. Don't tell me if it worked or not before trying. Your brain deserves this chance. And afterward, come back here in the comments and share your experience. Your story might inspire others to transform their brain health too. If you liked this information and want more content that can truly transform your health, click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive notifications. Share this video with those you love, especially if you know someone over 50 who still doesn't know about these dangers of digital morning habits. Remember, your brain is your most precious asset. The way you treat it in the first hours of the day determines how it will care for you in the coming years. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and I'm here to help you build a healthier, more resilient, and younger brain, regardless of your chronological age. Until the next video.